good. Excellent.
We are ready.
Perfect. So, do you have a garden? Do you have green fingers? Can you keep plants alive?
Yes, I have a garden. I don't particularly have green fingers, but I can keep plants alive. I can certainly keep the basil plant on the window ledge alive, that's for sure. And the parsley, and the coriander, and the rosemary.
Okay, so lots of herbs.
Lots of herbs. Well, because I cook all the time, so I'm constantly, chucking herbs into things. And my son at the moment, loves to make pesto, my 11-year-old. So we've always got masses and masses of basil. I'm not an expert gardener. I wish I could tell you that I was. I wish I could tell you that making this film turned me into a brilliant gardener. But sadly, no, it didn't. But I did love getting my hands dirty. I mean, we really were covered in mud. We made the film March, April and May of 2013. It's a long time ago. And we were really hit by appalling weather. I mean, we're having this lovely sort of almost mini heat wave now, and the sun's pretty much shining every day, and it really does feel like spring. We didn't have any of that. But there was even one day when I think it snowed, sort of the middle of April or something awful. So, yes, we all had to get filthy dirty. I would make the other actors get dirty as well. I'd say, your costume looks way too clean. Roll in that puddle. And then you'd see Danny Webb sort of rolling backwards and forth. Stephen Waddington on his knees going like this.
I mean, it pretty much was borderline mud wrestling at one bit, wasn't it?
It was, and filming in those conditions with lots of quite difficult equipment, it's pretty tricky because you're actually sort of slipping over, and falling down, which isn't great. Not a great look, but it was lots of fun.
And in period costume as well.
And pregnant in period costume. That was funny.
Oh no, that's like balance nightmare waiting to happen, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and no one knew that I was pregnant either, so I had the morning sickness, which I was trying to hide. I had sick bags hidden in my costume. I also had snacks because I was hungry all the time. So the combination of sort of constantly eating and throwing up and wearing a corset and in the mud. It's quite funny. You have to laugh.
I quite like the idea of your period costume being like a Inspector Gadget type thing with like food and sick bags.
You have no idea. You have no idea the things I had to hide, the tricks we had to pull off in order to adjust the costumes without anyone knowing. I'm like literally snipping seams. I'm going, this feels a bit tighter today. I have to cut it here. Finding other places for the boobs to go. Because at a certain point they won't just kind of go down because they're just so big. So sort of trying to hide them.
Tucking them in.
It's pretty funny.
Strategic flower and a branch.
Yeah, no,
across
that's
the
it.
things.
Absolutely, very much so, yes.
Do you think a little chaos is a good thing? Or do you quite like things ordered?
Oh, no, I don't like order. No. I think a little chaos is absolutely a good thing. I think when you have children, you have to have that, otherwise you just... I mean, there were constantly toys on the floor in our house and, crayons and bits of old apple slices and no, I think you do have to have a mixture of the two for sure. The only thing I try and be pretty organised about is whenever we're travelling, which actually in the last year has been quite a lot. You do have to. I've got lists coming out of my ears. Lots of organisation. Otherwise, you just sort of go a little bit mad. And you just, quite frankly, lose things. But other than that, a good mixture of both.
I always think whenever you're going out the door with children, you need like lists and organisation.
And an extra half an hour just to get them out the door, yeah. When I lived in New York, which I did with Mia and Joe for almost 9 years, because the winters in New York are so harsh and it snows a lot, it honestly takes properly half an hour from the point that you decide you're going to go out, half an hour to really get everyone properly bundled up, finding the gloves, putting on the snow boots. I mean, it's a huge mission.
God, I'm lucky we don't have that here. I'm spending 2 days with my niece and nephew, like the next 2 days. So I'm just waiting. It's easily done. Yeah, just swapping it around.
The way they've written it today is confusing.
Oh, have they? Oh, okay. I was about to say, because PA are here as well, so just add a little bit of... Oh, okay, cool. Great. So, how did you go about creating Versailles in the UK?
Well, you discover, thanks to our wonderful location manager, Jonah, that, guess what? We've stolen lots of France and stuck it in some of our own buildings. So if you go to Waddesdon Manor, which was built in the 19th century, inside are some genuine 17th century French interiors. And then the only problem you then have is to persuade the wardens of said building that we need to light real candles in here. And then there's panic stations, but we managed it in the end with the measuring the distance between the candlesticks and the wall.
I love that. Yeah. Can you imagine film crew burns down interior building? Yeah. Would have been a disaster. How involved did you get in all the period details? Because if there was any theme in the production notes, it was that everybody says that you have an amazing sense of style, and you've got this attention.
I don't know whether it's style, but I went to art school and I ran a design group, so the taxpayers' money has not been wasted. I hope, So I have. What it means is I have shortcut conversations with the production designer and the costume designer and makeup designer, hair people, anything to do with what I'm looking at. And I'm perfectly willing to admit that I'm wrong, but I'll have an opinion, and then it means we can talk about it.
And how did you get on with your own wig? Because obviously being the king, you have to have the biggest of everybody.
You do, but, there's the advance in time, because the research we did tells you that his wig would have weighed about 5 kilos then, but we've got cleverer now, so it's not like a ton on top of your head.
Well, that's good. There'd be a massive headache, wouldn't it? Like
Awful.
literal headache walking around. And do you have a garden yourself? I mean, I know that the landscape design is a completely different thing to gardening,
Yeah.
but do you have green fingers? Do you have a garden?
My wife and I have gardens, and but they're little, and we pay people because that's just not being grand. It's because if you're away making a movie, you'd come back and your garden would be dead. So I know, no, my fingers are not there. Whatever is the opposite of green, orange. But I know how to say thank you to the gardeners.
Brilliant. And final question, when is a little chaos a good thing? When do you prefer things to be?
Always. Absolutely always. You don't, life, love, anything needs order and chaos together. The one doesn't make any sense without the other.
But on film sets, I'm imagining you want...
You need quite a lot of order, in order to deal with the chaos, which will be there.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. Congratulations
All
on
right.
the film.
Thank
It's lovely
you.
to